Hello, friends. Let's read a book. We are reading another story from Children of the Wind and Water, 5 stories about Native American children written by Stephen Krinsky, illustrated by James Watling. We are on the 4th story out of 5 today. And today it is a Tlingit Carver. Graciel sat comfortably under a tree. He was carving a bear mask from a piece of tree stump. He had sharp stone tools, but he was working slowly. The eyes were done, and the ears too. He was having trouble, though, with the nose and mouth. The bear did not look fierce enough. Graciel growled at the mask. Then he felt the lines on his face with his hands. Those were the lines he needed to carve into the mask. His mother called out to him. It was time to bring some food to his father. There's the mask he's working on. Graciel could see his breath before him as he walked up the hill. If he could see his breath, what does that mean? Is it cold outside? Perhaps. He felt snug, though, in his deerskin clothes and coat of woven cedar bark. His hands were warm, too, holding the bowl of boiled fish and vegetables. His father was working on the hilltop. For many days, he had been carving a totem pole for Longshell. She was the richest woman in the village. Graciel knew how rich she was by the size of her labrée. This wooden disc hung from her lower lip. The larger the labrée, the richer the woman was. Longshell's labrée pulled her lip down to her chin. Graciel's father never made totem poles for himself. Other people hired him to make them. Totem poles identified the clan of a house owner, greeted visitors to a village, and even marked the site of an important battle. At the moment he was carving a raven's head. With the steady strokes, he shaved slivers from the beak. He used a sharpened bone for the larger work and a small shell for delicate chipping. The raven was going to be the top of the totem pole. Longshell belonged to the Raven clan, and all of her family's possessions were marked with a raven. Even her blankets were woven with raven images. His father stopped to guide Graciel's hands over the raven's head. Graciel knew he must feel more than the grain of the wood under his fingers. He must feel the shapes within, the shapes a skilled carver could find. A carver did more than just carve, though. He also painted the wood, and he sang and danced to draw the power of the spirits into his work. After his father finished eating, Graciel returned to their house. It was among several in the village that faced the sea. Graciel often collected pieces of wood on the shore. The waves had carved them, he thought, and each piece had a beauty of its own. Graciel had no time now to look for more wood. His father had asked him to make some paints for the totem pole. The painting was always done last, and then the pole would be honored with a potlatch. Graciel smiled. At a potlatch, there were always good things to eat, and the host gave presents to everyone. I wonder if that's where we get the saying potluck from, potlatch. He ducked under the low openings of his house and went inside. His family shared their house with 3 other families. Graciel gathered some paint ingredients from the platform where he slept. The others he collected from his mother, who was tending the cooking fire. Many things went into the paint. There's their home. Different kinds of rock dust, ground up plants, and animal oils. Graciel had learned how to mix them together. He worked carefully. The red paint was not turning out the way he wanted. He added another pinch of salmon eggs. Now a little more fish oil to make it the right thickness. Finally, he stood up and stretched. The paints were ready. They were bright and would last a long time. The totem pole would be pleased to wear them. Graciel was pleased too. He had made enough paint to decorate the bear's mask as well. It might never actually growl, but it would soon be the fiercest bear in the village. There's his bear mask. The end. So that was a Tlingit Carver. Out of Children of the Wind and Water, 5 stories about Native American children, written by Stephen Krensky, illustrated by James Watling.